Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Friday, June 27th. It is 6:21 right now. We got market opening up in about 8 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and finish identifying key levels here as we prepare for market open. So we got a point of control down here, 785. See, 853. Volume profile, 875. All right, that's good. All right, guys, looks like we're good. So good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, June 27th. It is 6:23 right now. We have market opening up in about 6 minutes. I've marked up pretty much all the levels here. There's some liquidity here that's been touched pre-market, so I'm going to go and just move some stuff around here a little bit as price continues to kind of bounce around. The ATR is currently at 6 right now, so volatility is a little low. Um, and there's a lot of liquidity kind of just sitting all over the place. Looking over here at my daily analysis for the day. So the key bias for today is bullish to neutral. We had strong overnight Globex session driven by Dove fetish tone and better than expected Nike earnings. So with that said, price has been pretty bullish since yesterday. Buyers are currently holding above the VWAP and reclaiming 43,800. So price is like pretty much just sitting above 43,800. And lastly, PCE price index is it's going to be a wild card. So I mean, depends on like what announces for that there will kind of determine, where price may go. So let me go over here real quick and I will, well, PC price index already came out and you can see over here that it was pretty mixed. So with it being mixed like this, we'll see what happens when the market actually opens. Later at 7 o'clock, we have Michigan consumer sentiment, which is the next news event. But other than that, I think that's about it. So we had high impact news over here at 5:30. Is that big spike? And now we're just going to wait to see what happens here next. You can see our price is not really doing much. It's pretty much consolidating around the middle right here. So price continues to consolidate like this. Then we're probably going to look for mainly sweeps today. If you guys are looking for MPS V2s, that's completely fine. But for me personally, I'll probably continue to focus on sweeps here. Only problem is that we're really far from support and resistance. So the resistance is going to be way up here. I'm probably not going to look for sells so much unless price really gets, down below this area. But the support levels, like the actual support levels, are like way down here. So the S1 is going to be at 43,750. That is, about 100 points away. So we do have some other support levels right here with market profile, volume profile, etc. But they're not going to be the actual supports that we're mainly looking for. So if we do see a bounce from down here, because we do have that daily bias, um, it might happen around this lower area down here. So just something to keep in mind. We have the volume profile down here, so price may push down and then maybe sweep from these lower levels right here. Otherwise, if price drops any lower, it'll probably come down to the point of control. But we'll see what happens here. I'm not going to jump the gun. Today's Friday, of course. I'm going to be a little more patient with the analysis here. All right, so let's see what happens here shortly. Yeah, so price keeps pushing down and keeps wiping out this liquidity, but it ends up pushing right back up. I'll just keep cleaning this up as price pushes around. I'll try to clean it up as much as possible. There's just a lot of stuff here where price keeps pushing through and it messes up the liquidity that I've drawn up. All right, guys. Good morning, everybody. Looks like market's going to open up shortly. Today is Friday, June 27th. Happy Friday, everyone. 6:28 right now. We got market opening up in about 2 minutes. I'll know the direction of the breakout shortly in about a minute once this candle closes. And once we confirm that, we'll kind of see where this goes from there. All right. So let's see what we got here. Market is about to open up shortly, guys. Breakout for today looks like it's going to be a sell. If you guys want to take it at your own risk. The bias for today is bullish to neutral, so I don't know if I'd really take the sell here for the breakout. If you guys are looking to take it, um, I marked up liquidity over here. Closest level of support is going to be down here, so there's going to be two areas where sweeps may possibly happen, possibly around here at this lower level. And again, down here, probably below the market profile. So just keep that in mind, guys, if you guys are looking to take entries around here. I'm probably going to focus on looking for buys here because of the daily bias. Price is pretty much breaking past these levels of liquidity here as we speak. So market's going to open up in about 10 seconds, guys. I got all the levels here marked up. Price is pushing up. Pretty much grab liquidity above right here, and it's coming right back down as we speak. So there we go. Market is now open, guys. So we got market open right here. Like I said, my daily bias for today is bullish. So I'm probably going to stick to looking for buys here. We got nothing here at the moment, but be watching for it. So you can see over here, price is pretty much wiping out in both directions. Price is pushing up very strongly. Like I said earlier, my breakout for today, or my direction for today is bullish to neutral. So we'll kind of just wait and see what happens here in a few. Possible trade setups for today. It says opening drive breakout. Price breaks above 43,900. Um, And it says right here, breakout with volume confirmation. So if price does continue to push up higher over here, it's probably going to push up to 44,061. So we'll kind of see what happens here. Again, there's no entries for me to take here specifically. I'm kind of just waiting here for the market to stabilize a little bit. Buy signal hasn't closed yet. As soon as the buy signal here actually closes, we'll look for possible opportunities for continuation. So we'll look for possibilities of continuation here in a bit. There's a setup here, and it actually just closed off. So one thing that I've started to realize over the past couple weeks is I prefer to take pending limit orders for my entries. I've been testing out this one strategy. It's pretty much a high-low scalp, but it's a break and retest of a high-low scalp, of a most recent high-low scalp. And there's an example right here. I was planning on taking it right now, but I didn't want to take it. I just kind of wanted to watch it in real time. But basically, we had a higher high right here. Price broke above it right here with this opening candle. And then what would happen after this is I would place a limit order at this high, and I would just wait for price to come back and reclaim it, pretty much come down and grab it. Um, right there would have hit TP. I'll continue to test it over the next couple live sessions. I might even take a couple entries myself, but this is kind of a setup that I've been looking at because I've realized that lately, when we take market orders for MPSV2s, and again, there's nothing wrong with the MPSV2 strategy. The only thing that I don't like about taking market orders is that we get hit with a lot of slippage. So for me personally, I like taking a lot of pending orders versus market orders because you guys have seen it happen a ton of times where you take a market order and then your profits are all over the place, right? Because some accounts take at a different price and some other accounts take at a different price. Versus if you take a limit order, they're usually going to be around where they should be. So yeah, basically it's like a high-low break and retest. If I see another example here, I'll show you guys, but there hasn't been one here yet. So we'll keep following it here as price continues to move along. Typically, this type of strategy works well later in this session with new high lows. So we have a sweep that happened right here, guys. A sweep happened right here at the R1. So this is the first resistance. Like I said earlier, I'm not necessarily looking to take entries around these points because, I mean, the obvious reasons. My bias for today was bullish. So if you guys want to take this here as a sweep, we had a higher high right here, got tested, and then it swept perfectly off the R1 right here, which is a resistance. So that's pretty much done with right there. But again, I'm going to try to test this strategy. If the strategy works well, then this will probably be implemented alongside the MPSV2. It's a directional strategy. It's basically a high-low scalp, but with a retest. So just using this for an example here, if price does come back down below here and breaks below this lower low, I would look for price to break past it, retest, and come back lower from there. It's just a simple break and retest, but you'll be looking for trades in the direction of the trend, or you'll be looking for trades um, above or below the pivots. So we'll see what happens here. But again, I'm not really looking for any opportunities here yet at this very moment. I'm going to clean this up right here. This liquidity has been broken and done with. So we have a couple opportunities here. We have a pending sell signal. The sell signal just closed. There may be a possible MPSV2 here that may come up. That's going to be something that we might be looking for as price continues to move along. So we have a sell signal here. You're looking for price to retrace up and then come right back down. So if it closes back here below, then this is going to be an MPSV2. Again, I'll be looking for that other setup that I just talked about right now. So that setup where price breaks below this lower low and closes, retest it, and it comes down lower. So it's pretty much the same thing as an MPSV2. It's just you're waiting for a confirmation, then just getting in right away. So you'll see a lot. I mean, if you guys have been with me for a while, you guys will see that a lot of the strategies that I apply, they coincide with each other. So they look very similar. It's just different entry points. All right, we got price pushing up right here. Again, if you're looking for that MPSV2, you need price to break and close back below the momentum here. So we had the sell signal, retracement. The candle has to push back lower and close below the momentum. And if that happens right here, then that's going to be an MPSV2. Like I said before, guys, I'm mainly looking for buys today. My bias is still bullish. So I'm not really going to look for sells here. If I see a sell that looks really good, I'll take it. But for the most part, I'm going to be looking mainly for buys here. Thing is, we don't really have many buy opportunities at the moment. Um, because our support and resistance is so far below. If anything, if we get some liquidity around this area, then I might be able to take some sweeps around here. So if this higher low gets established, this may be a new sweep area for us to look for because we do have some confluences right here with opening price. So if I back it up a little bit, you'll see here that price is for the most part kind of just ranging back and forth. We're getting this back and forth range right here. So it's going to be kind of tricky to take these directional moves. You probably want to wait for these scalps to come up here. Let me take a look at the market profile. Nothing here has really changed too much. This is at 875. Yeah, nothing's changed. The value high is still sitting around that area. Price is pushing right back up. Does not look like we're going to get an MPSV2 here. There's a possible setup for that one strategy that I was just talking about again right here. It's going to be at 3 or 898. So I'll probably test this out. Let me see if it's gonna. I'll just follow it. I don't want to get into it right away because again, I'm still testing this. But if you guys are looking for that strategy that I'm testing right here, basically, if this candle closes above, which it's going to, on the next candle, this candle right here has to come down and retest it right there, which it just did. So this is kind of the setup that I'm looking for right here. I'm not in this position, but I'm just following it for you guys. It's something that I'm going to plan to possibly test in the future. But basically what I was looking for here is I was looking for price breaking close past the nearest high low and then look for it to retest on the following candle right here. So I'm looking for that same pattern that we look for the MPSV2, basically price break above, retest, and then go back up. The only thing I really like about this mainly is because you can put a pending order. Right. For me, I prefer to take pending orders now versus market orders because of the slippage. You guys have seen that across a lot of people's accounts actually, where you know, you basically go in and you'll see one account has like perfect profit, the other ones have like profits all over the place. Yeah, exactly. I know, Sam. It's a break and retest. So it's break and retest off the high low, but only off the most recent one. Because there could be a lot of high lows here. Like, of course, all the liquidities that kind of sit around here. But I'm looking for a specific high low. It's the original strategy would be a high low scalp where the entry would happen somewhere up here. But for this break and retest, we'd be catching it right at the high low. So break and retest of that. It's a basic, basic pattern. Just that I'm using it at the most recent high lows versus like the others because I've kind of tested and I looked at the others. Sometimes, like for example, if price comes down here, there's so many different areas where price can break and retest. But for this one specifically, I'm mainly looking at this one here because it could have been this one over here too. This prior price actually never broke past it. Um, but I'll just continue to follow it there. I don't know what the stats are for it yet, or I might go back and back test it for a bit or create some sort of script to back test it. But yeah, I mean, it's still technically running right now. Still technically running right there. I just put it for 2020 because the ATR is currently at 20 right now. Looks like it's probably going to hit. No sweep there, but basically a break and retest off that high-low scalp. Not in the position, I'm just following it here. I'm mainly looking for buys here too, because my daily bias is bullish to neutral. Thing is, there's no support around these lower levels. Yeah, PC said this works best with higher time frame trend and momentum confluence. Yeah, I agree. That's why I'm trying to work it into the 1 minute here. I'm trying to figure out what criteria I need for the 1 minute. Because the thing is, if you trade on the higher time frame, we're probably never going to get entries for that. Since we're only, our trading window is so small. So similar to the high-low scalp that we typically applied in the past, but it's just more of a break and retest because we're waiting for price to come back to where the high-low was instead of just getting up above. Because typically we would get in like right up here when price would break and close past structure. But for this one here, I'm looking for the actual. There you go. The 2020 did hit right there. I'm just looking for alternative entries for the MPS V2 because the MPS V2, I do like it, but the problem is the market entries are what throw me off the most. So full TP right there on that strategy that I was just talking about. Um, it goes hand in hand with the sweeps. It goes hand in hand with the MPSV2. So it's not like we're doing a totally different strategy. It's just a strategy that goes in line with what we're already looking for. And the best part about it is you can place a pending order there. So again, guys, if you guys are just joining in or if you guys didn't hear what I said earlier, for this strategy, it's basically a high-low scalp, but a high-low scalp break and retest. I'm looking for the more recent high lows that came up, like basically the first high here. Price broke past it, and then as soon as it broke past it, I would look for that retest on the first candle. If it doesn't fill on the first candle, then I close out of I pretty much close out the pending position. But right here, it pretty much filled right away. So same thing we were looking for. The only thing here that I would have been careful for and would have watched out for was the red flag though. See how the sessions was right there? The candle that broke past it was on the sessions. So I would still incorporate the red flags into this. If we get a cleaner entry that kind of pushes out a little further, I'll look to take it so it could be a better example for you guys. But that's kind of the basic gist of it. It's not a super difficult strategy. It's very similar to what we've already been applying. Main difference is that we can place a pending order. Because after placing these pending orders for the liquidity sweeps, I've liked placing pending orders a lot more because you don't have to worry about it, right? You place the trade there, and if it fills, it fills. If it doesn't, then you just cancel it. You don't have to worry about slippage. You don't have to worry about price difference. You don't have to worry about a lot of stuff. You just kind of place the order there, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then obviously it doesn't. All right, there's nothing here right now, so I'm going to clean this up a little bit. This high low has been broken. This high low has been broken. I'm going to put this high here hasn't been established yet, but if and when it does become established, I'll be looking for opportunities there. Looking back over here at the sweeps, so there's no other sweeps here at the moment. There was a sweep right here, so we're just following the setups here to see where price has kind of been going from. There's no MPSV2, but there's one that's currently pending. So looking at this right here, there is a possible MPSV2 setting up. We have a buy signal. Price is retracing right here. If the candle closes green, this could be a possible MPSV2 for a buy. So if you guys are looking to take this here, the only thing here that I'd like to see or that I would have liked to see was a possible sweep from the bottom, which we didn't have. Or no, actually we did. Technically, we had a sweep right here. So price broken retest, there's a sweep right there. And this is setting up for an MPSV2. So if the candle closes green, this could be a possible MPSV2 entry. Otherwise, you have to wait for a green candle to close there. Let's see, PC said I'd wait for confirmation on the higher time frame, enter on the 1 minute, no matter the 1 minute structure. Open sweep was good due to strong demand in the area. Yeah, I can see that. The sweep that happened down below right here. All right, so there's an MPSV2 setting up right here, guys, if anybody's looking to take it. MPSV2 is currently running. The ATR is currently at 20 right now, so you probably want to go for a 2020. If you want to go for that 30-30, that's also fine, but 2020 seems like the key number right now. So MPSV2 is currently running in profit. This high got pushed up higher. So all the sweeps and break and retests are going to be with the blue chart. With the MPSV2s, I'll keep them green so that you guys can follow them correctly. Okay, guys, so I'm mainly looking for buys here. There's no sweep areas around here. So what I want to be looking for is this resistance turning into support. So what I'll be looking for as price continues to push up higher is for lows to be established around here. Look for it to push back up, retest, and I'll be looking for a possible sweep down here. So I'll be looking for price to kind of chop down here a little bit. I'm gonna clean up the charts as much as possible as we continue to move around. little messy, but it's going to help a lot with identifying the structure. So there's not really much market profile here. The only closest level would be right here at 890, which is the volume profile. So 890. Yeah, so the value high volume profile is moved up to 890. I'm going to move this up a little bit. It's just pushed up quite a bit. So again, I'm not in this position here for MPSV2 guys, but I am looking for a possible high-low scalp break and retest. Or we'll just call it a high-low break and retest. There's one other thing too. So basically the parameters for, or let me see if I have it set up here. Yeah, so for the high-low break and retest, I'm looking for the trend. So obviously I'm trading the direction of the trend, basically looking if price is above or below the pivots. Right here, you can see price is above the pivot, so I'll be looking for buys here, obviously. You want to identify price breaking close past the nearest high-low, and then I would set my pending order at the high-low. I've actually tested this back quite a bit, about a month's time, and it works very well. I just haven't done a deep back test on it yet. I might have to create a script so I can do a deep back test. But for the most part, at least between 6:30 and 8 o'clock, it works out pretty well. So these are the parameters, or not the parameters, but the criteria for that break and retest type setup. I'm not in this MPS V2, guys. I just marked it up for you guys here. Like I said earlier, I don't really like taking the MPS V2s with market orders anymore. If I can figure out a way to get in with pending orders, then I'll probably do things that way. But for the most part, I don't really like the market orders as much. I've been doing market orders for a long time, but the market that we're currently in right now, there's a lot of slippage, a lot of volatility. So I think market orders they've become a lot more trickier than they've been in the past. So looks like Sam over here, he got into that MPS V2 for 15 points. Since the ATR was at 20, he got out at 15 instead of 20, and he hit his TP there already. So nice work, Sam. Let me Okay, cool. So we're gonna get another example of this high-low break and retest now. We have a low here that which just came up. So what I'm looking for at this point is I'm looking for price to break and close above this area and then retest this high-low right here. So the high-low is gonna be at 938. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up my pending order. I'm gonna get ready to set my pending order around here. Yeah, I'll be looking for price to push above this area, and then I'll look for it to kind of retest it as price pushes up higher. Yeah, Shiv said 43,932 is his upper orb. Also, if it breaks and retests, it flows with your idea. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we got some confluences right there. There's not much else here kind of stopping price from pushing up higher, so I'll be looking for price to, possibly push up from there and then retest, of course. So I'll test it out. I mean, the only way for me to really know if the strategy works is if I actually take the entry. So I'll probably test it out here if it breaks above this area. So it has to break above it, retest it on the following candle. If it doesn't retest it or if it doesn't hit the close, then then I gotta cancel it. So I'll keep watching it here. Price hasn't closed above it yet. Looks like you might go into some range consolidation. So there's going to be a couple different things here to look for now, guys. With this said, we have a possible liquidity zone right here. So if price does come back below, this could be a possible sweep area. But if price breaks above, we could possibly get that break and retest off that level right there. There's another thing here. So All right, so I'll be watching here as price pushes up higher. Again, I'm gonna be looking for price to break and close above the 938 price point. And then as it breaks and closes above 938, I'll be looking for it to retest that area. Hasn't closed above it. The main thing that you have to look for is the actual close. Because if it doesn't close above it, then there's no entry there. And it's got to like for sure close above it. So you can see right there, it keeps testing it, but it's not actually closing above that area. There's also an A++ right here. Glenn mentioned it. Nice. So Sam over there also caught it, looks like. Quick entry. So price is breaking that 938, but it's not actually closing past it. Again, that's the key thing. Price has to actually close past it. It's trying to. All right, so I'll watch it right here. If this here closes past it, I'll put a limit order right there. I'm just going to test the strategy. The only way for me to understand if it really works well or not is if I test it. So if this here closes past the area, the 939, I'll be looking for it to retest that area for fill. If it doesn't fill on the next candle, then it gets canceled. There's no sweeps around this area right now. Again, the candle hasn't closed above it. It has to close above it right there. Keep watching it. Doesn't look like it. We got about 3 seconds left on here. All right, it's gonna close right there. So I'll put my
Order
pending
submitted.
order. I got my pending order waiting right there. If it doesn't fill on this following candle, then I'm gonna cancel it.
Order submitted.
All right, so it looks like it filled right there. The ATR is currently at 16,
Order filled.
so this would probably have to be at a 2020. Where is my criteria? So it's gonna be at 58. So I'd adjust that a little bit there. All right, almost there. 15 points, 17 points, 20 points, and I'm out. Full TP right there, guys. Smooth entry right there. That was a really good entry. So
Target filled.
target filled out right there, full TP, quick and easy. So, guys, like I told you guys in the past, I'm always looking for ways to improve. We have good strategies already, but I'm always looking for ways to get better. So, took that right there, full TP on that. That's the high-low break and retest. It worked out like a charm, exactly what I was waiting for right there. Probably could have held it for the full 30, but it's all good. I'll take the 20 on that one. So, hopefully, you guys like that one. I think we're going to make a lot of money applying this strategy. Uh, Moving forward, it's just a lot easier because like with this here, we could put a pending order, right? You don't have to worry about like, oh shit, did I get in at a bad entry? Because that's what happens a lot of times. Like everyone has this oh shit moment, right? I talked to you about this yesterday, Chris. Like, bro, the slippage it kills us. Um, I'll show you guys my profits right now. The profits are pretty good. They're all pretty much lined up how they should have been. And there's no like huge discrepancy between my accounts. So nice work, guys, on catching that there. And we'll continue to look for more entries here. Nice, Kyle got it as well. Yeah, I tested the strategy pretty deep, like, well, not super deep, but I tested it like at least a month's time to make sure it's like, it's actually viable. And this is my first time actually applying it live, so glad it worked out perfectly. Oh fuck. Well, you guys will see here on my I just realized that on one of my accounts or a couple of my accounts here, I actually took like a full contract size. I didn't realize that I took it for a full contract size, but it's okay. You'll see the profits here are like a little different. All right, so solid entry right there. That's the first base, full, official entry for the day because I took it on my accounts. We'll keep looking for possible sweeps here. The thing that makes this strategy good is that when price doesn't retrace back, because in order for us to get those sweeps, we need price to retrace back super hard, right? Sometimes price never retraces back like that. So like if that's the case, we probably would never get an entry here because price would never sweep back to this area. The good thing with this break and retest of the high-low scalps is that we can continue riding it even if price continues to climb up higher. So this strategy might replace the MPS V2, not fully replace it, but it might replace it as one of the more consistent strategies because we can follow it a lot easier. See, the problem with the MPS V2 is that it happens so quickly that we miss it a lot of times. For the high-low scalp, break and retest, we're actually looking at the high-low, so we can actually watch it as it breaks and close past it. So it's going to be a little bit harder for us to miss versus MPS V2s that kind of pop up and then if you miss it, you miss it, right? There's actually an MPS V2 that came up, I think right here. Yeah. So this was the initial MPS V2. There's no other ones here coming up yet, but let me take a screenshot of this and I'll post up my profits. You'll see I made a lot of profit on this trade actually, guys, a lot more than I usually do because a couple of my accounts, I think I reactivated them after my payout and then I accidentally had them set to a higher contract size, which is fine. All right, so let's see this here. This is going to be for a high-low break and retest. I'll look for another one here. So I'll look for another example. From what I've seen from my stats, this strategy comes up maybe like 2 or 3 times per session. There's actually one that came up here earlier that I mentioned. So the opening one right here, price broke above it and then retested right there. There was another one that came up prior. So that basically we consider the first one, and this would be the second one that came up. So, all right, let me go ahead and screenshot my profits real quick. There's no entries here right now, so don't worry. You guys are not missing out on anything here. It actually feels good to have like these consistent W's here right now. I feel like the past couple months haven't been super consistent, but now that we have this other setup to follow. So we have another setup right here, guys. The problem with this is that this is the news candle, so I wouldn't necessarily get into this right here. If you guys want to get into it, I mean, feel free. I'll mark it up for you guys right here. I'm probably gonna hold off on this because this is the news candle. Yeah, no, Christian said, Sean, you should call it HLBR. Yeah, that's gonna be a good acronym for it because it's just kind of similar to the MPS V2, but this is just HLBR or high-low BR. So you just got to trade in the direction of the trend. You got to remember that. All right, so price broke and closed below it, guys, or above it. If you're looking to take the high-low break and retest right here, it would have to fill on this candle. If it doesn't fill on this following candle, then it's canceled. So your pending order would be right here at 983. It doesn't look like it's going to fill, so you're probably gonna have to cancel your order there. All right, so there's no entry there, guys. It'd be canceled, and there's nothing there. So now you look for that next high to be established. So that's the concept of the strategy. Basically, if it doesn't fill on that next candle, you cancel it. You just wait for it to come up again. Yeah, exactly. Sam said break and retest only profitable if one knows the direction and target. Yeah, I agree. And that's why we're using the pivots here to identify the trend. And then we only apply it during trending markets. We don't do it when market's going sideways like this. If market's going sideways back and forth, then we revert to the liquidity sweeps, right? So definitely does help that we have all these tools here and I'm able to do a full analysis of like, what we're looking for. Plus I had my bias for today for a buy, so it all went hand in hand with each other. Sam said my break and retest is a bit different than yours, Sean, but same concept. Yeah, exactly. The break and retest, like you mentioned earlier, the break and retest, it's a common strategy. It's not something that I just came up with. The thing here is that my criteria is just a little different. So there's a common break and retest concept that price break structure and retest it. For me, I'm using my high-low indicator to identify the structure, and then I'm using my pivots here to identify the trend. Also using the trend meter down below in a sense to identify the trend. I think the biggest part here that I'm also using is the ATR. So the ATR for my targets, and then also on top of that, momentum. So it's a simple concept, but I kind of I made it fit for my own criteria that I'm looking for. Anyways, here are my profits right here, guys. So I locked in some pretty good profits, just pretty big profits, as you guys can see. So I locked in 600 on like my main Apex accounts. And then over here, like I said, I think I added these on and then I forgot to like change the contract size. It was my original contract size for like one trade. So like I said before, guys, I'm taking a third of a risk. So I only made 600 on this one, but on my full contract size, I made 1,600 right here. So 600 right here, 200 right here on my smaller accounts. And then here are my second set of accounts. Made 500 right here for my Tradeifys. My Perdia live account right here, live funds, I made 200, and then my personal account right here made 600. So I mean, today's a pretty big profit day, and then my profits for the week, of course, they're pretty up there. All right, it's been pretty good so far, guys. We'll keep looking for the next entries here. There's nothing at the moment, 704 right now, so the volatility here might kind of slow down a little bit. That's gonna be one thing that you guys want to be careful for. When the volatility starts to slow down, make sure that you look at market structure and you're not taking trades that are meant for different strategies. So for example, if the market here starts to go sideways, then I would hold off on taking those high-low break and retest. I would start to look for possible sweeps. However, if price continues to climb up higher, then keep looking for those high-low break and retests. It's just the volatility tends to die down after 7 o'clock. So we are at 7 o'clock now. And if it really just starts to flatten out, then we would just have to play this with more caution, of course. Brock said I used to trade something similar, but yours is early. I literally wait to take advantage of the EQL high lows, the equal high lows. This is more in line with it compared to the sweep strategy. Yeah. Yeah, the difference with this, so the difference with the high-low break and retest is that it's more of a directional strategy. You're going to be taking when price is going directional, similar to the MPSV2. It's just with the MPSV2, we're not looking for structure, right? For MPSV2, you just get in right away. So very similar strategy to the MPSV2. The only difference here is we're re-entering at a pending price point of structure versus just looking for this. So for example, right here, the MPSV2 would happen right here, right? So price would come up, retrace, and then we'd enter right here. For this specific strategy, the high-low break and retest, instead of entering right away, we wait for it to retest the price structure. So we'll keep testing it, guys. I mean, there's no, obviously if we need to make changes to it or if I need to make adjustments to it, I'll do that. But I think what I have right now, just the raw strategy, it works pretty fine. The only thing to really look out for would be the red flags. I think that's a thing that we just have to be aware of. Visual said 2 minute opening range hit target for 100 points. Nice work, Visual. Yeah, those orbs have been hitting lately, right? Because it's been breaking out of the range and continuing pretty often and pretty consistently. Um, One thing that a lot of people like to apply, I know like, Visual likes to do the 2 minute opening range. A lot of the most common one is a 15-minute one, right? So let's see, 15-minute would be, yeah, if you look for the 15-minute opening range, it also would have hit too, because the 15-minute would have been at our actual entry. So here's the crazy thing. Our entry right here with the high-low break and retest, it lined up with the 15-minute opening range. So the 15-minute opening range is right here, the high. Price broke the structure. So we kind of went in line with other people who were trading in this direction. So we went in line with the 15-minute opening range. If people were taking that orb, they basically would have taken a buy right here. And for us, we took the same thing, but we got better entry because we waited for that retest. That's interesting. Now that I've kind of seen it, it's kind of we had a lot of confluences on this entry here, the one that we took. So yeah, thanks Visual for the heads up on the orb. I typically don't look for the orbs, but the orbs have been hitting a lot lately. I've been testing the 15-minute orb for the past couple of days. One of the guys here, I'm not going to say his name because I don't want him to get mad that like people are bugging him, but he created an indicator that he shared with me where he's been looking at 15-minute orbs. So one of our guys here in the group, again, I'm not going to mention his name because I already know if I mention it, some of the people are going to are going to blow up his DMs and he's going to get mad that he's getting bothered. But basically, he set up an orb indicator. It's nothing special, so don't think that it's something that's like out of this world. It just helps him specifically because what it does is every 15 minutes or every day at 15 minutes, it'll plot the 15-minute orb. Yeah, visual set back tested 15-minute. Losses are massive. 2 minutes the best. Gotcha. Yeah, the thing with the orb guys is that there's so many different types of orbs to take. There's 15-minute, there's 3 minute, there's 5 minute, there's 2 minute. What Visual is doing, Visual is the first person I've actually seen do 2 minutes. So, that's his edge right there, of course. There's a possible high-low break and retest right here, guys, of this one. Yeah, Nick said 2 minute and 15-minute orbs have been working for me too. Been using acceleration and velocity for confluence as well as liquidity. Nice. Thanks for your input, Nick. Yeah, so Nick over here is another person who's been using the 2 minute and 15-minute orbs. Like I said, there's so many different orb setups that you guys can look for if you're looking for those types of breakout entries. They all work to an extent. It's just really figuring out what your edge would be. Yeah, like Nick said, you got the same entry as Visual for 50 points. Yeah. And then again, your TP stop loss, that's another edge as well. If you want to go for the 50 or the 100, sometimes the 100 is good if the volatility is high. If the volatility is low, 50 might be a little more ideal, going between 50 and 100. All right, so guys, looking at this right here, this is a possible high-low scalp break and retest. The problem with this here is that price is consolidating, right? So if you guys remember my rules from earlier, I mentioned that do not enter if market is in consolidation. So I'll put this right here again. So market is currently in market consolidation, so I wouldn't recommend taking this break and retest. In this situation, I would look for possible sweeps. So we'll follow it if it comes up, but again, I wouldn't take any entries here because price is in market consolidation. Again, if you're looking for entries, only take the break and retest when price is going up like this, or if price is going down like this. When price is going sideways like this, mainly look for sweeps because you don't want to get caught in these fake outs. Let's see, Sam over here said, nice, glad you're testing it live. I'm always happy when you win because that's a big motivation. And kind of thank you enough. And Barack for MPSB too. Give my regards to him when you're free. Yeah, definitely. Barack's here on the live session right now, actually, Sam. So yeah, he's kind of been testing other things as well, kind of similar to what I'm doing now with the break and retest. I'm glad you messaged me yesterday, Barack, because when you messaged me, that kind of got my mind thinking when you mentioned how your strategy is kind of similar to my liquidity, except you're going in the direction of, price. So there's always room to grow, guys. The thing with the market is that it's always kind of shifting around and changing a little bit. So you kind of have to adapt to it, especially with this type of market, which is like very blocky and volatile. I think the best way to take entries now, or at least for this specific time in place, is really with limit orders, or not just limit orders, but pending orders in general. Because the market orders, I mean, you guys have seen it before. Like for example, the MPSV2 happened right here. See how there's a little gap in price? A lot of times what happens is you enter a position and then your entry is like way up here when your entry should have been down here. And then you end up getting screwed because your TP stop loss is like super far off than what you expected it to be at. All right, so price hasn't actually broken close past this area yet, guys. So there's no high-low break and retest. And we'll kind of see where this ends up going from here. So Barack said, yeah, whenever Sam asks you if you have something in line with a specific price point, I also look at it for possible calls. I think this team is all around, all around. Yeah, exactly. Barack said, I like how people share analysis, reasoning, etc. I agree too. It's different when it's just me analyzing because that's like it's all one-sided, right? But since we have like other people in the group who also put out their analysis or like trades that they see, um, we can kind of see if it goes in line with whatever we're looking for. So there's no entries right now, guys. So just continue to wait and be patient. I think while we do that, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to update my Trader Sync because I don't know, for some reason Trader Sync takes forever to update for me. It's probably because I have so many accounts. Um, I mean, realistically, yeah, that's probably why. But I'm gonna let it update right now so that we can see what my stats are for the week. I'm up for the week right now, so it should be good overall. Should be pretty up for the week. All right, there's nothing here yet right now, guys. Price is still just going sideways. All right, we got price coming back down right here. This could be a possible sweep area, but it's not really going to be a strong sweep area. We have liquidity sitting right here. It's just news price, which is right here. Let me go back to the news over here from this morning. So the news over here from Michigan consumer sentiment was positive. That's what pushed price up. Price might come back to retest this area, so this could be a possible sweep. The only thing is that it's not really a strong area, right? If we had a resistance around this area, if we had a value high, value low, whatever it may be, this would be a good area to sweep at. But because it's just news, it's not really something I'd look at. If you guys want to take it though, this could be a possible sweep area. Just heads up. So yeah, for me personally, not looking to take this here, but if you guys want to take it, I mean, feel free. All right, what else we got here? Let's see. Sam said, man, gold, NQ, YM moving, same for once during New York session. I know the volatility is it's pretty good today. It's not super, super high, but it's pretty decent overall. I think it's been pretty smooth with the movement, with the direction. The ATR is not super high though. The ATR is currently at 15, so the overall volatility is not high, but there is direction. So even though these candles are small, price is actually moving still, right? So I think that's the key thing here. Like these candles are really small, but they're moving in a direction. Let's see, Christian. I just saw your profits right here, so let me just say that real quick. If you guys have profits to post up, feel free to share them. Um, like I said before, the sharing your profits isn't necessarily it's not to show off. This is really to put you guys in check with your consistency. Like Christian over here, he always posts his profits pretty much every day, whether he wins or he loses. And this keeps him in line with sticking to his game plan. So nice work right there, Christian. He locked in at 345 on that trade today. Yesterday, Christian locked in 130. And pretty much whenever he has profits, he'll post them up because this will keep him this will keep your mindset proper because if you keep seeing that you're posting wins, the next day you're going to want to post wins too, right? It's kind of similar with me as well. The more confidence you have going into the next trading day, the better. Otherwise, if you have a loss and you don't you kind of just keep it to yourself, you're going to be scared trading the next day. And it happens with everybody. I mean, it happens with me too, right? If I have, like on Monday, I took a loss and I was super cautious on Tuesday because I didn't want to take another loss. Luckily, we won on Wednesday and then won yesterday and we won today, so I'm pretty decently in profit for the week so far. Soon enough, I'll increase my contract size again and I'll start taking bigger trades or making bigger profits. But as of now, I'm probably just going to keep it where it's at. All right, there's nothing here right now. Price is just kind of ranging back and forth. The sweep here never came down to sweep. We're still in this consolidation range right here, guys. So I'd probably hold off on those break and retest entries. I would look for possible sweeps here if you could find any, but there's no confluences around this lower area here. So even if price does come down here, this wouldn't be a good sweep area. It's a sweep, but not necessarily a good sweep area. All right, there's an MPS V2 that's possibly going to start to set up over here. Let me check this real quick. Hmm. All right, so it looks good. All right, I think my Trader Sync is done uploading, so let me go over here real quick and drag this over real quick. Okay, so here's my calendar for the month so far, guys. So for the day, I actually made more profit. I just didn't link my other accounts to here. This is only going to be my Apex accounts, I think, or I don't know. It's whatever I logged into, but it's only one set of my accounts. So here are my stats for the day. I locked in 19,400. This is only for 39 of my accounts. I have about like I think 40 something, if not 50. So this is probably closer to like 24, 25,000 for the day. So for the week so far, I'm currently up 17,420. Like I said earlier, the week here was kind of it was kind of rocky. So on Monday, if you guys remember this trade came, it filled our order, it hit our stop loss, and then went straight to TP. So for this one right here, or no, sorry, this one went really close to our TP, and then it turned on us. So it went down like I think 17 or 18 points, and then it flipped the opposite direction. So if you guys took that loss with me on Monday, unfortunately, this trade, if we moved our TP to what ATR was, which was 20, it obviously would have hit because we were in profit. I think 27 points. But then I ended up holding on to it for the full 30, ended up turning on us, so I took a loss right there. Like I said, after that loss there, I was kind of taking it a little easy to kind of get used to things again and not FOMO or a revenge trade. So right here on Tuesday, I didn't really take any trades. On Wednesday here, I got kind of screwed. This is where I had technical issues. So this should have been a full TP for about 20,000, but I only locked in 6,000. On Thursday yesterday, I locked in 15,000 right here. We went for a smaller target because I was going to go for the 30, but I got out at 20. And then again for here today, went for the 20, got out at 19,400. So that's pretty much what I logged in so far, guys. These are my stats for the week, my stats for the month so far. This should have been a lot more, but it's okay. I'm not going to get greedy here, of course. Profit's profit, and I'll take my win for the week. But yeah, we traded 4 days this week, so we actually traded a pretty good amount. Usually we'll trade like maybe 2 or 3 days of the week, but this week we traded 4 days. And now that we have this other strategy that we're kind of following, we're probably gonna have more entries as we move along. So I haven't increased my contract sizes yet. I'm still sticking to what I've traditionally taken. Probably over the next couple weeks, if the market starts to move a lot smoother, I will increase my contract size back to where it was prior. Right now, I'm still taking a third of my risk. So you'll see my profits here aren't as much. Like this would have been probably like a $40,000 day. But because I'm only taking a third of my risk, I only made a third of my profit. Yeah. And here are my stats for the year so far. So my stats for the year, I'm currently at 432,930, net 350,000. You guys can see here that the curve is starting to curve up a lot smoother, right? So hopefully over the next couple of weeks, we have some pretty good green weeks and we can have this curve right back up like we did prior. Because we did pretty good from January up until April, like mid-April, and then the tariff news came out. It screwed up my trades, and then we made it right back, and then it's been pretty choppy for May up until June. So now that we're going into July, hopefully we'll get more consistency with the profits there. Anyways, there's no entries here right now. There's a possible sweep that's getting filled at this moment, and this here would have continued to push up higher. So possible sweep right there. Like I said, there's no confluences here, so I wouldn't really take this entry, but that was a sweep right there off this higher low. Let's see, PC said, so if you would have stuck to the MPS V2, how would that last couple months have looked for you? It actually went pretty well. The thing is, I just didn't take the MPS V2 because I didn't feel comfortable with the market conditions. But if you look at the markups, the MPS V2 is actually pretty consistent still. It's just I was being more conservative. So if you look at the stats or if you look at like the markups, There's a lot of days where MPS V2s just didn't come up, but on the days that they did come up, they actually did hit pretty well. It was just a lot of times they were at red flags. So if you look over here, there's MPS V2s that came up. I just didn't take any of them. So same with like I mean, we'll go back to earlier in the month. Like here on June 2nd, there was a ton of MPS V2s that came up, but I didn't really take those entries. So I think in general, if you just stuck to the MPS V2s, you probably still would have made pretty good profit. It's just up to your risk appetite. Like for me, although I saw the MPS V2s hitting, I just didn't feel comfortable taking them because the thing is there was a lot of MPS V2s, but there was also a lot of losses. So if you were to count all of them together, it would balance out to profit. But with the risk that I was taking, because I was taking like bigger contract sizes, I couldn't really take those types of risks. Because what would happen is there would be like two or three MPS V2s which would come up. Those would win, and then I'd wait for one later in the session, and then that one would lose. So there'd be like four MPS V2s which hit, and then I took the only one that lost. So that's why that's why my consistency wasn't really off the MPS V2. But there's a lot of other people here in the group. Like I think um who was taking the MPS V2s? There's just a couple people here in the group who are still taking the MPS V2s even though I wasn't taking them, and they were doing pretty well. So I would say overall, if we just stuck to the MPS V2 by itself, um, and if I lowered my contract sizes to what I'm doing now, because right now I'm taking a third of my risk. If I would have done this probably 2 months ago, we would have been in a better position than we are now. Because what happened was during those couple months, I was taking full contract sizes, and then when I would take a loss, and you can see over here on my stats, like I would those losses would just add up. Because it's like there'd be a bunch of wins, and I take that one loss, and it would just knock me down. So yeah. In general, the MPS V2 still works pretty well. It's just you have to take every entry. You can't be selective like I am. Yeah, Sam was taking it. Yeah, of course, Sam, you're the one that's been. So you have the stats, right, Sam? Because you've been following the MPS V2. How did they play out over the past couple months? Because I know you've been taking the stats for them. Yeah, I don't know why I blinked out. I knew you're the one that was taking them, Sam, because you're the one that would always call them out. The MPS V2s plus the A plus pluses. Because I know you showed the stats like a couple weeks ago, and you said they were doing pretty well. Yeah, Brock said I still take him even yesterday, but added supply and demand confluence. Sometimes I'll be ready. I'll already be in a trade when an MPS V2 shows, and he just adds to his position. Nice, Brock. Yeah, Christian said, "Oh yes, those single trades that were losses feel sour when there were two or three wins before that." Yeah, I agree, Christian. It was it was super annoying because I was like, man, I should just take all the entries, but I always ended up waiting for the one that looked the best, and then that one would lose. And it's like, man, if I would have just taken every single entry, it would have uh it would have played out nice. Yeah, Sam said MPS V2s are better than A++ as momentum loses after the first A++. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, PC said yes, Brock. Supply and demand as a momentum confluence for MPS V2 is solid. Yeah, the MPS V2 is great. I think for the MPS V2 though, there's probably one confluence that needs to be added to it, which is probably gonna be like the supply and demand, which is kind of what we're doing now too. So like what we've been looking at, our confluence is the sweeps, right? So for example here, see how we have a sweep right here? If we have a pretty clean sweep here, so if we get an MPS V2 that follows from here, this would be a pretty good entry, right? So it's the same difference. It's like, Brock uses supply and demand. I use my sweeps here. It's the same. We have a confluence there that kind of lines up with it. So like basically we have that confluence there where price pushes away from it. And then if we have a MPS V2 which follows up, then it's probably going to hit. Also, this lines up with the high-low break and retest, right? If price pushes past this area, comes back up, it's probably going to break and retest. So looking at this over here, clean this up a little bit. I mean, we're in some heavy consolidation right now, guys. So this isn't really a time to take the directional entries. I mean, you can see here the market's pretty much flattened out. For the most part, it's pretty much flattened out right here. Yeah, Christian said this is actually what I was doing before. I was looking for liquidity sweeps before an MPS. Yeah, and it's a great confluence. You know, the MPS V2 is a good strategy. It's just I think that extra confluence with the sweep makes all the difference because there's going to be a bunch of MPS V2s that come up, but it's like which one is a good one, right? The good one's going to be the one that has confluence before it. Because then in that situation, the MPS V2 becomes a second leg to the push to the upside or downside. All right, the market is completely dead right now, guys. If you're looking at the chart right now, it is completely dead, as you guys can see. Not too much going on. Let's see. Christian said, I wonder how the markets will behave since the 12-day war is technically over. Yeah, I mean, you know, the thing with the time that we're kind of in right now, Christian, is that anything can happen, right? Like tomorrow another war can start or whatever. Trump can cause some craziness to happen in the world. So I wouldn't put it behind him. You know, I'll still tread lightly because we're going into the weekend. If you guys remember last weekend, what happened last weekend? Iran and Israel went into war, right? Like another war can just break out over this weekend too. So I don't know what can happen. The market's gonna kind of do what it does. And yeah, we'll see. Yeah, because I think like right now, like the tariffs are starting to are starting to have their effect here in the US. You guys have probably seen, I think Trump's made a couple posts about it. I got an email from what's it called? From Bloomberg, and it was like it was this funny video of Trump where he was like, "Oh, there's like 12 billion that just came in. Where did this come from? Oh, this is from the tariffs." And obviously like, you know, we don't know how true that is, but yeah, Trump kind of makes things funny. Like we're kind of like in a circus here. So I don't know what will happen over the weekend, but the market's always going to be it's always going to be volatile, I feel like. There's always going to be something that's happening, something that's pushing price around, you know, whether it be the tariffs, whether it be the war, whether it be stuff that's happening here in the US, right? I feel like a lot of people are trying to call for Trump's I forgot what that thing's called, where they kick him out, his impeachment, yeah. There's just a lot of stuff going on, guys. I mean, the thing is Trump hasn't even been in for like a full year yet. I don't think, right? So we still got a lot of this. We still got a lot of this coming. Yeah, Christian said it's funny how both countries declare being victorious. Yeah, I know it is funny. Brock said impeachment, no way. The alternative is worse. Yeah, Lila said that'll only happen if they lose the midterms. Yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, like there's a lot of stuff happening, not just like with the war and stuff that's going on outside, but the stuff that's happening here, right? Like the immigration law and stuff like that. There's just so much stuff that's happening throughout the US and around the world that there's just too many things. There's not one thing to focus on, right? Like I could kind of list things here, like political, domestic, domestic events, right? We have a lot of things. We still have the Ukraine, Russia war. We have Israel, Iran war. We have tariffs. We have, I think that's that war in India too, right? India and Pakistan. There's so many things. Uh, Creation law in US. There's always something going on. Trade war with China. I mean, the list goes on. Like I can go on with this like forever. There's so many that like typically we have like maybe one thing going on, right? We have like one war that's going on. But we got like three, four different wars going on right now. We have the tariffs, we have the trade war with China. Like, there's just so many things that are like there's no way to really like gauge what's going on in the world because there's just too much going on. All right, so there's a MPS or sorry, not MPS. There's a high-low break and retest that just happened right here, guys. If you noticed it, it happened very quickly. It's not one that I would personally take myself, but um, it came up right there and it hit 20 points. So there's a lower high right here. This candle broke and closed past it, and this one retested it. If anybody saw that, I mean, I wouldn't have taken it myself, but I just wanted to point that out right there so that you guys can see the setup. So this was the most recent high right here. Broke it, like barely broke past it, and then it retested right there. That's okay. I wouldn't take the entry because my main criteria here, or one of my main criteria is do not enter if in market consolidation, which we were in market consolidation right here. So I wouldn't have taken that specific trade there. But it is a setup, just so that you guys can see there what actually came up from that point. So I think for this here, I'll color this green because these are the directional moves. And for the sweeps, I'll keep them as blue. Yeah, Stern said, realize how many governments have fallen in the world. Yeah, I know. So many. It's crazy. Lila said, did the Dutch Prime Minister mock him in front of his face? Iran is coming back. Yeah, I mean we don't know what's gonna happen, guys. Like over the weekend, like anything can happen really, because the markets are closed. So like when I think the first bombings in Iran happened on Sunday, right? Was it Sunday last week? Yeah, they happened over the weekend, and then everyone thought everything was gonna go to shit like on Monday. It spiked down a little bit on market reopened, but then came right back up. Christian said it's crazy also how Zohran Madani won the nomination. I was not expecting to beat Kyomo. Yeah, I mean it's crazy. There's a lot of things to look at, but we'll see. Anyways, guys, if there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put your questions in the chat. It's 7:40 right now, so there's not really too much going on. I mean, I guess we can keep looking for possible opportunities for entry here, but I'm not really expecting too much to happen here. The next possible opportunity for entry would be a break and retest of this up here, or it could be a possible MPSV2. We have a buy signal right here, so if price pushes up, retraces, and comes back up from there, we can have possible opportunity here for a MPSV2. Otherwise, there's not really any sweeps around these areas right now. Price is kind of just hanging out. Yeah, and CERN also mentioned, yes, many bought oil as the war started, but markets went up and oil dumped. Yeah, it did the opposite, right? It's all manipulation. I feel like it was a trick, right? It was like a bait and switch because what happened was like if you follow basic fundamentals, and macroeconomics. When the war was happening, oil was supposed to go up because the price of oil was supposed to be super expensive because we wouldn't be able to get it from Iran. And then people bought into oil, right? Because they expected that to go up. And then what happened was they thought equities were going to go down. And then it did the opposite. Equities went up and oil went down. So like it was all manipulation. Everybody thought price of oil would go up because where are we going to buy our oil from? And I mean, it lasted for like maybe a day, right? Or maybe even like maybe less than that. Yeah, and Stern said, so is there a war? I know, right? That's the question. Um, Also, if you guys saw the satellite photos, let me see if I have that there. I'll look it up. The satellite photos of the Iran bombing. Like Trump said that they were obliterated, but if you look at let me see, satellite photo Iran attack. Okay. Yeah, because the thing is like Trump said that like it completely destroyed everything there, right? And if you look over here, it didn't really destroy much. It like they kind of missed the areas a little bit. So like, Trump said everything was like super destroyed. I mean, it was destroyed to some extent, but not like super, super destroyed. So like, did we really like, is this all a ploy to just make people think that to manipulate the market and manipulate the world in general? Because it's crazy. It looks like, it wasn't super bad. If you guys look this up, like the reports were that like everything was completely destroyed, but it looks like only like the damage wasn't even that crazy. Like Trump made it seem like they dropped like an atomic bomb on Iran, but yeah, there's some damage there, but nothing too crazy. So, I mean, we'll see. There's uh there's a lot of different things here that could affect the market. Anyways, let's see. Brock's asking the current price action is fitting criteria, Sean? Possibly. There's no entry here yet, though. So looking at the break and retest, we need to have a high that's actually established. So see here how price keeps pushing up and it doesn't actually establish the high. What we need to get here is we need this high to be established and then price come down, establish a low, and then break and retest from there. So yeah, the price conditions right now, we're now in a directional market in a sense. We're no longer in a choppy consolidation. Let me just show you over here real quick. So see how price was like in a choppy consolidation right here? Looks like we're now pushing to the upside. So we're now moving into a directional market. We need to have this high established first though. So in order for us to take this here as a high-low break and retest, we need price to actually come down, establish a low, and then come back above it. So again, right there, price pushed above. So this high just keeps getting pushed higher and higher. And I think this was an MPS. Yeah, so this is actually MPS V2 right here that came up, guys. It's currently running in profit, or it's currently just running in general. Yeah, it's running in profit right now. This is an MPS V2 to the upside. I'm not in this position right here because, like I said, price just got out of this range. So we just initially got this push to the outside, but the MPS V2 is currently running. We had a buy signal right here, price retraced, confirmed on this green candle right here. Now it's pushing up. So Brock said I'm in that buy criteria plus V2. He's taking it for 20 points. Nice work, Brock. So let's see. 20 points, it's on its way up higher. So we'll see here as it continues to follow up further. Again, these are my stats for the day so far, guys. I only took one trade, but profits are reflecting pretty nicely. Nice. Okay, yeah. Brock said, yeah, it was before the V2, just after the break and retest. Check the break using Wix body. Okay, cool. Perfect. So yeah, we'll follow it here. Brock's currently in this MPS V2. If you guys are in this position as well, well, we're rooting for you guys. Get those 20 points at least. The volatility here is starting to slow down a little bit. It's currently at 16, so like a 15 target might be a little better, but if you want to hold on to that 20, we'll keep following it for you there. Oh, okay, so actually Brock's already hit. So Brock's already out of it. Sam over here pulled out at 15. Nice work, Sam. So Sam got into this position over here as well for MPSV2. He pulled out at 15 because of the ATR. Looks like the 20 will probably get hit, but 15 is good enough, right? Yeah, Sam's had pulled out 15, stick to his rule, 17 ATR. So he rounds it to the closest whole number, basically 15, 20, 25, 30, etc. So great work right there, Sam, on catching that. I think the 20 will get hit though. It's on its way up. All right, solid work right there, guys. Full TP. Yeah, Barack said LOL should have held. I know. It's all good, bro. Take the 15 or take the 20, wherever you got off from. Harmony's asking you were like 2 minutes delayed. Why? I don't think it's 2 minutes. That's a pretty far delay. There might be a 30-second delay, not a 2 minute delay. That's a lot. Yeah, Sam, is it like a 2 minute delay? Because I'm pretty sure it's like maybe 30 seconds. If you guys want real time, the real time's on the Zoom. So if you want to get on the Zoom, just go down to the website below in the description. That's going to be real time. The YouTube is like slightly delayed. It's delayed about I think like 30 seconds or so. Gotcha. Okay, yeah, sounds like in a 1 minute delay. Yeah, Nick's at 20 seconds. I'm pretty sure it's like 30 because that's the typical YouTube delay. Um, my stream is streamed through Zoom. So like I'm streaming through Zoom and then it carries over to YouTube. So it should be around a 30-second delay. Nice. Rev got there for 15. Nice work. Kim's asking, is the daily outlook still on Discord? I haven't been able to find it the last few days. Yeah, it's right here. So let me I posted in three places, Kim. So I posted over here in the announcements. This is gonna be the first place I posted in. And then I also posted in the team chat over here. And if you just want to go straight to it, just go over here to market outlooks down below, and it'll be over here under the daily outlooks. So that is where I post. If you guys want this as well, if you guys are on the YouTube and you guys want my daily outlooks, this is posted to the Discord. So just go over here to the Discord, and then I post it usually in daily outlooks. It's going to be posted under announcements and team chat, but the thing is, it gets kind of flooded here when I post all the other links. So if you want to get it directly, just go over here to daily outlooks and and Kim, if you can't find it, go over here to the drop down and click show all channels. That might be why you're not seeing it as well. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so Lila got it. All right, looks like a lot of you guys here are done. So Barack is done. I'll see you back here on Monday, Barack. So great way to close out the week. Sharon said Nasdaq is at all-time high, S&P and DAX. Pretty heavy. Shiv said calling it today as well. Catch you guys next week. All right, Shiv, we'll see you back here on Monday. Have a good weekend. Christian's done as well. See you then, Christian. And here's what Lila locked in for the day. Nice work, Lila. So Lila said, not what I wanted, but better than nothing. Great weekend to us all. Yeah, definitely. Today was a pretty good day, guys. This whole week was actually pretty good. I didn't get full profits on all of my trades this week, but overall, I mean, we did pretty good as a team in general, right? So here's Lila's profits. Lila locked in 841 for the day. Nice work, Lila. Yeah, so today these are the entries that came up. Let me just take a full screenshot of everything that's here. Um, Man, it's so messy. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit, or I'll just leave it as is. I guess we don't need to clean it up too much. I'll take an actual screenshot of this so that you guys can see my entry where I came in from. All right, so let me go over here real quick to the Discord. Yeah, so here are the entries for the day, which were pretty solid. So I'll just post this in the team chat as well. But yeah, guys, overall, we had a pretty great week. I'll show you guys my stats for the week again if you guys didn't see them earlier. We had 3 winning days and 1 losing day, which I mean technically should have been a winning day, but I got a little greedy, didn't move my stop loss in profit, so I could have locked in 20 points and it ended up locking in negative. So it happens, guys, even myself, right? So here are my profits for the day, and here are our stats. So we had 3 winning days. We had a winning trade on Wednesday, winning trade on Thursday, winning trade today on Friday. We had one losing trade on Monday, which a lot of you guys did win. I was probably one of the few people who lost that trade because I didn't move my stop loss in profit and I didn't adjust my target to 20. I just got greedy that day. So we would have had a win streak this week, but unfortunately I took a loss on Monday, but it's okay. So we took a loss there, made the profit back over here on these previous days that just passed. And overall, it's a great day. So, or a great week in general. So for so far, I'm currently up 17,420 for the week, 39,375 for the month. I've been taking partial risks, so I'm not making as much profit as I've had in the past. So here are all my stats for the month. So you can see over here, I'd made a lot more previously. So January, I locked in 75,000. February, I locked in 94,000. March was huge, locked in 238,000. April had my first red month, 59,000 loss. May made 44,000. June made 39,000, which we're currently at right now. Eventually, once the market starts to kind of move a little more smoother, I'll start to increase my contract size back to what I was doing earlier this year. But I'm playing it safe, right? My current stats for the year so far, this is my curve. So I'm currently at 432,000. Net is 350,000. Win rate's currently 72%. And it's been pretty solid. I mean, having to deal with the tariffs and all that stuff from April up until May has kind of thrown us off a little bit, but it looks like we're starting to get back into swing. So yeah, this whole month's been actually pretty good. We've only had 3 losses, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 9 winning days and 3 losing days. So win rate's been pretty decent overall. We just got to stick to it. I got to stick to like what I'm doing, and I guess adapt with what the market's throwing to us. So not too bad. Yeah. So Sam said so 50 net wins on MPSV2 and A++. I took this month out of 62 total. Nice. So that's actually really good. So Sam took 50 wins on MPSV2s and A++. So Sam's win rate on the MPSV2s, and let's just do the math real quick. So 62 or 50 divided by 50, 62. Yeah, so Sam has an 80% win rate on MPSV2s for the month of June. Sam's probably one of the few people who takes the MPSV2s and A++ entries religiously. So nice work, Sam. I'm glad like you're still profiting on it, even though I'm kind of holding off on those entries. You are moving at a faster pace though, because you adjust your TP stop loss a lot quicker. So nice work. But all right, guys, I think this might be it for the day. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to hop into the chat now. Otherwise, we're gonna wrap this up pretty soon. Yeah, Chris said it's okay, Sean. We don't have to dwell on Monday anymore. I know, sad. It I don't know. Monday just rubbed me the wrong way. It was like that trade was such a good trade. and then it ended up I mean, it just ended up doing the complete opposite. But it is what it is. It's like that video I sent you, Chris. Like the literal same thing happened to that one guy. But all right, guys, I think that's about it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, we had a pretty great week, pretty great day today. Great entries right here. I think you guys are gonna benefit a ton from the high-low scalp break and retest moving forward. I think I don't really want to replace the MPS V2, but I'm probably going to lean more towards that specific strategy because I can place a pending order versus having to enter at market. So. All right, guys, I think that's it for the week. If you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, have a great weekend, guys. I mean, this is a great week. We're going to go into this weekend with a nice amount of wins, and you can go into this weekend happy and not have to worry about making anything back next week. We're going to start off next week fresh, and we'll kick off July in a few more days. So, all right, guys, have a great weekend, and I will see you guys back here on.